Hello, I'm the Blue Iron Wings, and today we're going to finally build my grass snake. This video will probably happen in parts because I need to do some mechanical stuff, then I'll need to do some soldering stuff. Now, I've already, following some advice, glued in the mag retention screws. Because basically I think trying to get all the bits in, filling enough trying to get these 3 bits in, but trying to do 2 of them, because obviously it's going to be Talon and Katana compatible. I suppose I could put in one of them, but I might as well put both in. Be a bit fiddly. I did print off 3 of these pins, because you need 3 pins. There's this one was a bit rubbish and ended up being snapped, and the middle one was okay, but I snapped it anyway. So I have printed several other ones in some of the random darkish filament and sanding them a bit because they weren't perfect. We'll start with the good one and see how we get on with these. Of course the problem is if you do them too fast they'll kind of go over the place. You've got to do them slow. I think doing them slow and printing 9 at once, 3 of them wobbled at the end anyway. I've also bought some of these 3.5mm screws like for fitting me in plug sockets, which fit well but don't really actually hold on to anything. So if I managed to snap all of these, I may just drop some of these in and just put some super glue around it just to stop them coming out loose. They'll be more robust, but these holes are about 3.8, I think. These are 3.5mm, so maybe I should have got them 4 ones, but we will see. Anyway, step 1 is putting the trigger onto the trigger thing. Now, this recommends using a 2.6mm screw. The whole kit suggests, I think it's 2.5mm by 10s, but this one needs a slightly shorter screw, so if you can see it, I've kind of mangled it up in my garage. Put that into there. If this was too long, it'd pop out the bottom here where my finger is, but it still needs to go in pretty flush here for whatever's moving over the top of it. That's not too shabby. It's as tight as I dare go. It's not moving. If I had a brain, I might have super glued this. Next we need to do the linkages. Oh, previously I have been in here and sanded this bit under there a bit. It's an awkward thing to do. I have put in the dart pusher and it does flow well enough. Again, it's even hard to show that way. It'll be a bit like that. That's a linkage in the middle. It's got that bit there, so the big long hole goes to the top so it can slide forward a bit. Alright, goes that way. Alright, and in theory I just shove a good pin through the back here. And that's friction fit. Now you're meant to fit the mag spring there. You've got a mag return spring. You need to fit it between the holes there and the holes here. This is going to be all fiddly to do, so what I am going to do, I'm going to thread both of them here where I can actually, hold it and get to stuff. Yeah, it's so much easier to get it started here where you can actually do it, as opposed to fighting down in there. You probably want this in as much as it will go so it doesn't stick out too much, but bear in mind it's going to come out the bottom. You don't want it in too much either. Right, that's most of the way through. Yeah, that's not coming through. That's in more or less the right place to line up. Right. Put this back in. Get the hole in the spring. It seems to be working well. Yeah, that pin is loose. It's better than this. Maybe I should look into get some countersunk screws or something. Well, they are countersunk, but captive is what I mean. I just need to bring in a bit of tension already. Oh, these screws, just a random grab bag off eBay, equivalent. Like I said, there's a little bit of tension holding it forwards, which is good. Mag, you've already seen or will see. There you go. Pushes the dart, no worries. This bit is ultra mega fun. The pin goes through that bit there. The spring sits on there and there's a raised bit on the back there. That's obviously the catch that goes into the notch in the magazine. And I think that little bit there kind of tucks under the shell to stop it coming out too far. So I need to fit this thing in so it goes over the spring, under the shell, and then kind of push it backwards enough so I can actually get the pin through. I might do the long one first because it's got a short one here and the long one there. I'll fit it from this side so it's not doing massive amount of levering on the spring at an angle. Right, so I've got, if you can even see, I've got one in, and it's just resting on the end of that bar. That was easier than I thought. However, this side I think the spring is more up against it. Might be maximum fun. Because in theory I just slide it down and under. Can I do that? But part of the problem is I can't see what I'm actually doing. Right, so I've got the spring pushed down with the screwdriver. That looks about right. I'm gonna hold that down into place. Okay, that's good. It's gone through both of them. Right, let's find out whether the springs I cut are cut right. Because if they're not, I don't know how to get them out without trashing this thing, printing a new grey thing. Mag goes in. Mag comes out. Switch goes there. Because you normally used to kind of push to make. I think the way this is set up is push to break. But what does that mean? It means this has to come back to drop it down. Right. That's not turning off. Yeah, it's nice and clicky. But it takes a chunk of force to do it. Right, tinned some wires. I've tinned a switch, or I found a new switch. It's not got the same amperage rating for AC, but we're running on DC, and it's got the same amperage rating for DC as the other micro switch, so whatever. I've not got the video in the bit where I faff around with wires trying to figure out what routes and how long to do them. Now we connect this to the normally connected, because in its default state we're actually keeping it open. And now the camera battery's dying. You don't really need to watch me do this. I'll just show you when it's done. Right, so I've done my wiring. Now, as you can see, oops, I am pretty rubbish at wiring. I can solder, but I get like points for turning up and that's it. We've bolted in, so I say screwed in, cage, this little cover at the back. I think as I was struggling to do this, I kind of got distracted. And these wires should probably be under that red one, but they're not. But it's fine. I did previously glue this bit on. And the way this works, this cutout sits over that, sits over the cage. Well, the way this micro switch works, it's normally held kind of in the closed position, because you've got a common and you've got the two things. So normally, when you're not doing it, there's a path through here, but it's normally kind of held closed. So when you press it, it changes it. Oh, and it starts to work. So I just lovingly figure out how to jam this in. Yeah, I've gone for a Dean's connector because I normally use Dean's, normally 2S builds. This one's 2S. I may get some Merlins at some point and probably an actual better battery. But when I do that, I'll probably just print a new cage and just drop it in instead of trying to reuse this one. There we go, perfect. And the nose cap piece sort of slides in. It's got these lugs at the front, and there's a little catch at the back. Here's the mag you saw in the other video with my fantastic little logo on. Custom. I'll get around to releasing these bits at the bottom eventually. Okay, that's forwards. So this is a Snake Mk1 8-round mag. The selection of I picked up off the floor from the last high power game I went to work at darts. Nice and custom. Not Chrono this, but it's sufficiently powerful. It's gonna hurt. Now there's darts everywhere. At least one has been deadheaded. Yeah, there's quite the crush on these. Anyway, that works. Right, let's get these side plates on. I wanted a bit more personalisation. So like I did on the base of the mags, which I've modified a bit in the other video, I printed out my own logo. It's based on the, I'll put a link in the description, to the one with the little snake token, but I changed it to have my token in instead. Now, the token was designed to go with the smooth one. I kind of prefer the one with the cross diamond hatching on, but as I was starting to kind of modify this STL, which by the way had to go into 3D Studio Max and be re-exported because trying to render in OpenSCAD crashed it, I had a slightly different idea, and I thought I'd use the axe, because axe is basically my nerf clan, so it's a little interesting diamond to have this on. Now I've already rounded off 3 out of 4 screws, because I don't seem to really get one of these that fits very well and the metal's soft. So this one's okay, but the other ones I've actually been through and I've slightly reamed out the holes with a small triangular file to basically dig it out. But now let's see if I can actually fit. Yeah, and these just screw in using the dinky little motor screws. We need to make sure that they don't go in too far, otherwise they'll catch the mag. Let's glue these in. Question is, do I want it in line with the grip or in line with the blaster? I might have it in line with the blaster. A delicate amount of super glue of some form or other. Yeah, when I got some overpaint I tried to wipe it off, but I think in the end it didn't come off very well, so it's gave it a quick sand, but it is what it is. So yeah, so now I'll flip it over and do the other side, hoping it doesn't fall out. Look, my lesson, I will use less glue this time. And there we go, one very kind of customised grass snake. Thanks for watching, see you later.